You learn the hidden rules of love in the quiet moments, don't you? Not in the first rush, not when the music is loud, but when the noise finally dies down, when the excitement settles, and you're left alone with your thoughts. That's when the truth of the situation becomes absolutely impossible to ignore. We often think love is found in the grand gestures, or the fluttering butterflies. But that's a beautiful, yet ultimately distracting illusion. Love, true, enduring, lasting love, doesn't reveal itself in the butterflies. It reveals itself in the patterns. Think about the sheer weight of that word, patterns. It's how someone responds when they've had a genuinely terrible, exhausting day. It's the tone they use when they're stressed, or the choices they make when they have absolutely nothing to gain from you. And this brings us directly to the first hidden rule. Intensity is not intimacy. We mistake high emotion for deep connection, and that is a truly costly error. Intensity is easily manufactured. It can be created by sheer chemistry, by trauma bonding, or often just by raw, aching loneliness looking for a mirror. But intimacy is different. It's an act of architecture. It's built slowly, deliberately, through honesty, through unwavering consistency, and through sustained emotional availability. Ask yourself honestly, when you look back at the people who made your heart absolutely race, did they ever truly make your mind rest? Usually they didn't. Let's ground this. The story of Claire. She met Daniel, and Daniel had that truly magnetic energy, the kind that pulls you in instantly. And for weeks, he was perfect. The thoughtful texts, the small personal surprises, it all felt perfect. But this is the critical rule she missed. Everyone is amazing at the beginning. The beginning is simply the audition. 2 months in, as the certainty of the relationship set in, the patterns began to shift. The cancellations started. The effort disappeared. And when she confronted him, he gave the classic reply, "I'm just busy." Stop overthinking. We have to recognize that this line, "stop overthinking," is how people dismiss your intuition when they don't want to be held accountable for their sudden lack of effort. The painful truth was simple. Daniel hadn't actually changed. He had just stopped pretending. And that is the deepest hidden rule of love. The real relationship begins the moment the fear of losing you disappears. Who they become in that moment of certainty, that raw, unguarded, inconsistent person, that is the real person. Claire stayed for a long time. She was in love with a story she had constructed in her mind, the potential, the idealized future. But sitting alone on the cold sand, she had to admit what she hadn't before. She missed the person she thought he was, not the person he actually was. The idea had expired. The hard reality remained. And that's when she understood another rule, perhaps the most liberating one for self-preservation. Love doesn't fade because someone stops caring. It fades because you finally see the truth clearly. We hold on to the comfortable illusion far longer than we hold on to the actual reality. Claire ended it with dignity, with profound clarity. And when Daniel tried to re-engage because losing her bruised his ego, Claire was shielded by a final rule. If someone truly values you, losing you becomes their greatest fear. If someone doesn't, losing you becomes their lesson, not their regret. We must stop accepting that their lack of effort is a reflection of your worth. People don't treat you poorly because you're not enough. They treat you poorly because they simply lack the emotional capacity to love at the level you deserve. Love requires capacity. It requires sustained effort, not a performance, but sustained, messy, difficult effort. This brings us to a crucial shift. Love is not about finding the right person. It's about being with someone who chooses you intentionally every single day. We often say, if they wanted to, they would. But let's find the deeper, truer sentence. People ultimately do what they are emotionally capable of doing. Not everyone is capable of deep, secure intimacy. Not everyone can handle vulnerability. Recognizing this is not cynicism. It's Stoic acceptance of reality. And this is why people settle. They settle not for love, but for familiarity. Familiarity, ironically, feels safe, even when it's utterly unhealthy. We are psychologically wired to be drawn to what mirrors our past, even if that past was defined by wounds. The relationship you accept, whether you realize it or not, is often a direct reflection of the relationship you have with yourself. If you internally believe you must earn affection, you will chase those who make you prove your worth. This is the ceiling, and here is the most sobering truth you need to write down. You cannot receive more love than you think you deserve. The ceiling of your self-worth becomes the absolute ceiling of your relationships. You will only accept the love that feels familiar, never the love that feels right, until that internal relationship changes. Now, for the simplest, most brutal, and most overlooked rule, love doesn't die from lack of love. It dies from lack of effort. Effort is the bloodstream, the oxygen, the constant, necessary maintenance of a relationship. We often remember the small things, don't we? The consistent gestures, the easy reassurances, the way someone looks at you with absolute presence. That is the effort. Love dies when that effort becomes inconsistent, when communication becomes passive, when appreciation is assumed, and when the connection is relegated to the background noise of life. But here is the hopeful counterpoint, the promise we seek. The right person won't allow that to happen. The right person won't gamble with your feelings. The right person won't treat you like an option. Because the deepest hidden rule, the ultimate reassurance, is this: the right person doesn't confuse you. They clarify you. They calm you. They choose you. They don't need reminders, warnings, or ultimatums. They simply show up every single day. And when love is truly right, truly secure, it feels like something utterly necessary, like breathing, natural, unforced, and profoundly grounding. It becomes steady. It becomes safe. It becomes home. The hidden rules of love are simple. They are just rarely followed because following them requires us to reject the high-drama fantasy. But once you internalize them, your entire perspective changes. You stop chasing intensity and start craving peace. You stop falling for eloquent words and start trusting unwavering patterns. You stop romanticizing exhausting potential and start valuing sustained effort. You stop losing yourself in relationships and start, finally, finding yourself through them. You finally see that the love you want is the love that wants you too, with the same level of capacity, intention, and clarity. And that is the final, most liberating rule you must carry with you. The right love will never require you to lose yourself to keep it. It will expand you, steady you, and remind you who you were always meant to become.